Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Adam Napper from Farrow Jamieson here, and I am going to be doing an FJ chat today with Cory Pearson. Now, Cory, good afternoon, Cory, firstly.
Hey, thank you.
Cory, I've known Cory for about 3 or 4 years. He's a qualified accountant and very much someone who is on an upward trajectory in his finance and professional career, and has made the decision in the last few months to relocate from Auckland to Dunedin for a number of reasons. So I thought it would be a good idea to talk to Cory, just exploring the reasons why he's looking to move away from Auckland and down to Dunedin. Because obviously there's a few factors at play there, including the employment market, the housing market, and lifestyle and so forth. So, Cory, firstly, just give us a bit of an overview. So obviously you're from down that way originally, aren't you? And
Yeah, that's right. So I guess for me, I was born and bred down in the south. I moved to Auckland after graduating about 7 years ago, and certainly launched my career up in Auckland, and it's been a fantastic starting point. We've sort of reached the point now where my partner and I are looking at settling down, and I guess at that point as well, you do start thinking about where you want to be living, and you're starting to think a bit more long term. It's not just, hey, where are we going to be in the next year or 2 years? You're actually thinking more 5-10 years plus. And certainly for us, we thought about, what's it going to be like for us in Auckland, particularly given some of the benefits, such as a really good buoyant employment market, but the downside being housing affordability.
yeah,
And then we looked at, I guess, where our families are at as well, because for both of us, our families don't live in Auckland. Mine is from Otago, hers are in the Hawke's Bay.
yeah,
And so that was another thing. So we were sort of considering, well, do we want to be closer to them? And if so, whereabouts? So we certainly looked at a few cities and options. And where we landed at is moving down to Dunedin.
So what obviously family, I gather, swung Dunedin in the end, but what other factors were at play there?
Look, a big part is lifestyle. So I guess currently in Auckland, I'm sort of commuting 20 k's each way every day, probably spending anywhere between 40 minutes and an hour and a half in traffic.
Yeah.
I guess being down that way, traffic's not an issue. Certainly you can actually live probably a lot closer as well. So again, you're probably talking 5-10 minute drive in the mornings of that.
Yeah.
Heck, we could even walk to work if we find the right place.
Yeah.
For me, that feels like a really good lifestyle move, being able to knock off work at 5 or 5:30, or even if you do have to work, working through to 6, you can still be home at a reasonable hour, as opposed to, get out at 6, you're still battling another hour's traffic to get home, if that, and really sort of battling that side of things. And I've got friends living down here that really do the same thing. I've got a mate of mine, he'll get up in the morning, in the summertime, if the weather's looking good, he'll actually go for a surf. Go do that, jump back in the car, go have a shower, and he's still at work at a normal time.
And you can't do that in One Tree Hill?
No, not these days. It's a bit of a battle. Maybe once upon a time.
In terms of accommodation, housing market, I gather you guys rent in Auckland at the moment. Is that a factor for you?
It is for us. I think being in a rental is nowhere near as stable as having your own house. And I've certainly had the experiences where I've been in a place and then out of the blue, the landlord says, look, time to go. You've got 3 months to find somewhere new. When it's just the two of you, it's fine. Thinking ahead to having children, you've got a lot of other factors, and I've seen a lot of people as well having that battle where they've found that they need to move out of their house, they're trying to stay in the same area, and they're really struggling to stay in that area with the same school zone and things like that.
I shouldn't ask you this, but I'm not formally in. How old are you?
I'm 29.
29. So you're really at the stage of life, sort of settled down, looking.
Absolutely.
Families coming up and so forth.
Things like that are going to be on the horizon in the next few years.
What does your partner do for a job?
She's in finance as well, so she's accounts payable.
Yeah. So you guys have both resigned.
We have.
And taken the bold step to relocate. In terms of employment markets, as you said, you're leaving a market which is big. There's lots of jobs here. There's obviously more career opportunities in Auckland. Obviously, it's a bold step. How have you found Dunedin so far, moving to a much smaller city in terms of employment prospects?
Look, at first glance, it feels very limited. You jump on Seek, you jump on Trade Me Jobs just to do your initial research, and you think, shoot, there's not much here. Nothing's come up for the last week. What am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
And my first impression was exactly the same. In saying that though, as soon as I started talking to recruiters, you realise that there is a lot more going on there. You also realise that things are done a lot more informally. There's not, they're not that keen on always putting the job up on Seek, because chances are they've already got someone in mind, or they've found someone that could be a really good candidate that's come through their networks.
So people know people.
They do. It's very parochial, that size.
Yeah. All right. So you've written 2 blogs. If you look at Corey's LinkedIn profile, he's got 2 very good blogs that sort of cover this in a lot more depth. The first one is called Reasoning, which goes into a bit of detail as to what we're discussing here, the reasons why you're looking to relocate.
Right.
And the second one is the art of resigning. Now I've myself have resigned to relocate across the world, and it wasn't an easy conversation to have, but it was easier than leaving to go to a direct competitor, for instance. But how did you find the resignation process? And because obviously you would have known some way in advance you were looking to go, but obviously you had to formalise it at some point with your employer.
That's absolutely right. So I think for us, we've been considering it for a while, and when we decided, look, we're going to look at doing this in the next few months, we decided as well to just say, look, we're going to have to tell our bosses pretty soon.
Did you give them a heads up then before you?
I did, yeah. I guess for my story, or for my circumstances, we'd actually been away on holiday, and as I came back, my boss sort of said, look, we've got this, we're looking at putting you on a course in the next couple of months, and for me, I thought, look, I can't do that course, because basically right when that finishes, I'm going to have a couple of weeks and then I'm planning on going.
Yeah.
And I just felt that that course would be better suited for someone else in the business.
Yeah.
So I sort of said to him, look, I can't do the course. And then they're going to ask.
Record discussion.
Yeah. And then they kind of go, well, why? And they're going, well, I'm looking at leaving.
Yeah.
And it's, to be honest, when you're talking about relocating, they're often very supportive. They'll certainly look at and talk to you about your options. Is there anything more that they can do to support you or help you stay? Is there something, lifestyle-wise, or something that the company can help with? And it was good to sort of bounce those ideas across, because if you're not aware of them in your own organisation, and you find out about it, it may encourage you to stay.
Yeah.
But it was good just to think through all the options. And I think my manager and I have got a pretty good working relationship, that we can be pretty open and honest. And we certainly discussed a lot of options around just more personal circumstances as well, to kind of go, well, have you thought about buying a rental elsewhere and renting that out to build the equity up?
Knowing you quite well, I'm sure you've worked through all options
before
you decided to jump.
Absolutely.
I gather you probably need to be a little bit flexible on things like base salary and so forth going into another market. Would that be correct?
You do, yeah. You do have to be aware of, I guess, what the market's like, and certainly talk to people, talk to recruiters, all that sort of stuff, because you do need to know, what is the market like? There may be a premium, for living conditions, that sort of stuff, that, for example, Auckland, you probably are getting a little bit more than what you'd get for the same role down in Dunedin. So you need to be aware that you might have to take a drop down in salary for a comparable role.
Outgoings, I gather, are just as high.
Absolutely.
High.
And that was another thing. Did my numbers on that, and again realised, look, I could continue here and kind of, I guess, grow my salary, but I may not necessarily get what I'm after from the personal front with, say, getting into a house or that sort of, those sort of things.
Yeah.
So we kind of did the numbers and went, look, we could take a hit, but we're probably going to actually have a slightly more comfortable life.
Yeah.
Down south.
And look, at the end of the day, I suppose it depends on what's important to you in life, really, isn't it?
It is.
Most of us have got to work, but obviously I've got children myself, and at the stage of life where work-life balance is important to me, and I'm sure hopefully it's something that lies in your future as well. What's the one piece of advice? Because it's quite common with it. We read in the press all the time, particularly people looking to move to, say, Bay of Plenty, Hawke's Bay, Taranaki, and obviously you're moving to Dunedin. What's the one piece of advice you give someone that is sort of maybe had a bit of a gut full of Auckland and is exploring other opportunities outside of the region?
I would definitely say my biggest piece of advice is just talk to people, because you will learn a lot through talking to people about what's going on down there, what's on offer, and more often than not, they will connect you with other people that can help you on your journey. So just through talking to people, sharing my experiences through LinkedIn, I've connected with some incredible people that I'm actually looking forward to catching up with over coffee in Dunedin to just talk about our experiences and about resettling down there.
And I've seen some of the comments to your blogs actually, and people that have made a similar move or are from Dunedin have sort of connected with you.
Yeah, they
off the back of that, so that's great. So what we're looking to do actually, we'll probably look to do a follow-up FJ chat with Cory, maybe 6 months down the line, once you're settled in Dunedin in your new job.
That sounds good.
Which is yet to be established where it is, and so one of our consultants from Farrow Jamieson down south will hopefully conduct that sometime in the new year once you settle. So this will be part one. So thank you very much, Cory. Great to talk to you today, and we look forward to watching your progress over the next few months.
Excellent. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.